Let's go.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ninja Reviewer here. Sorry this review is pretty late. Yeah, I know the review is actually pretty late for this episode, and my apologies. It was pretty rough last week. Pretty much not only of passing in the family, not only that, but technically, it was just basically I was just really busy because Halloween night I worked pretty late. And by Friday, I was just doing stuff, afterwards, etc. Just preparing, just, hanging out, spending some time, with my dad and stuff to remorse him for his father, in the past. So that's the reason why I haven't really done the review or whatever for the latest fairy tale episode. But now I'm back, even though, So anyways, since I'm back now to do it, I'm ready, I'm clean, I'm fresh to do this latest fairy tale episode review, which I believe it was episode 257. Alright, the main awesome hype thing about this episode is the very end of the episode. Now, granted, the rest of the stuff at the beginning was actually pretty interesting, and it actually was really cool because we get to see that Gray has pretty much has left to go take on and actually, try to help out when it comes to helping out Natsu and the gang. So he's on his way right now to pretty much, stop Mark Gear himself and, etc. But the main focus about this episode, oh man. Now we had the battle thing going on with Urza versus Kaguya, and I gotta say it was actually pretty good. But the main focus on this entire episode, oh man, excuse me, the main focus on this whole episode, well, the fight between Kiraku versus Urza was actually pretty dope. It was awesome, it was amazing so far, but the fight has pretty much been interrupted for now because apparently there was a force of nature. The greatest threat has come to interrupt these fights, and that is ACNOLOGIA. Oh my fucking god. This moment was epic as hell, just to see ACNOLOGIA just come on by, and he is ready to just wreck shit up. He has finally made it towards the island. He's finally made it towards to Margear, to them with Face and etc. So, because we see that Kaguya has pretty much combined her powers with Cilia, so now they're pretty much fused into one being. So Urza and them, are pretty much fighting. And then all of a sudden we had that weird lolly girl, the one with the scientist with the bunny ears. Yeah, her. I forget. I think it was bunny ears sort of girl, kind of, sort of. And that chick, the one that's pretty much doing that whole that laugh that I cannot stand at all. Yeah, that bitch, I can't stand her because of that laugh. And pretty much there's a whole bunch of clones that she made out of herself, and because of that, the rest of the Fairy Tale Guild are gonna fight them. But that's not main important. The main important aspect is that the main focus, forget about everything else aside, the main focus of this entire episode was not only ACNOLOGIA coming back after the whole Terminal Island incident. They're oh shit, we gotta fight this freaking dragon, shit, because we're not strong enough to face this dragon. This thing is gonna wipe out this entire island. It's gonna wreck everything. We're screwed. But here's the main focus of this episode. The main focus for this entire episode, because I don't want to make the review too long because this episode review was kind of a little way past 2 days overdue, is because of Natsu. After this entirety of the Fairy Tale series, Natsu finally has found his father. And all this time, he was inside Natsu the entire time. And IGNEEL is finally back. We see IGNEEL, and the moment where they reunited with Natsu, where IGNEEL is I'm sorry, Natsu, I should have told you everything that has happened. I should have told you, everything, but I can't explain it all right now. Your job is to take Margear out and also to stop Face as well. Like, I have my own duty here. I have to go fight ACNOLOGIA. So the setup between ACNOLOGIA versus IGNEEL. No, IGNEEL versus ACNOLOGIA, vice versa. Oh my god. It's massive hype. Like, oh my god. Like, not only that, but Gray is about to do some epic shit as well. So, definitely can't wait for that. The Urza versus Kalkia stuff is actually pretty cool, at the beginning, so can't lie about that. So a lot of cool, interesting things have happened in the majority when it comes to this episode. But not only that, there's going to be more crazy stuff because this month of November is going to be ridiculous on how awesome this arc really gets. Because not only that, we see, we have this huge setup fight between IGNEEL versus ACNOLOGIA, but this is the biggest moment in the Fairy Tail series in general. This was, I believe, in the manga, I think this was the 400th chapter when we got this. Yeah, it was chapter 400. So this is the legend of all legendary chapters. This is a One Piece moment of Fairy Tail of chapters. And this was actually really spot on gold. They did a really great job with the bonding between Natsu and IGNEEL. They actually showed how much, they've been together over the past years. And I did get a lot of feels, don't get me wrong, especially at the end, where Natsu is pretty much crying and he's saying dad. And then, so the biggest highlight of this episode is definitely IGNEEL versus ACNOLOGIA setup, mad hype. And the rest of the stuff at the beginning was pretty cool. I'm liking the setup. I'm liking the setup so far. So yeah, definitely when it comes to this episode, it was actually really good. I mean, of course, how can you go wrong with this episode? Because you have IGNEEL, Natsu's father, the one that he's been searching for all this time, is finally back, and it's happening. Natsu has been reunited with his father, so that's actually really awesome. So I'm glad for him. I'm really happy that they are finally reunited again, and the fight setup is going to be amazing. So far, the little clash that they did was actually pretty epic. Also, what I really loved about this episode is ACNOLOGIA just firing his laser fucking destruction and shit. That was actually really cool, so I'm not gonna lie about that. So that was really awesome. So again, the setup, the main focus of this episode, I think no one's ever gonna forget, is the Natsu being reunited with IGNEEL once again. And that moment was freaking hype as hell. It was amazing. The soundtrack was set up to a T, beautifully. Takanashi has outdone himself once again, and I gotta say, man, oh man, we're finally at the home stretch of this arc, and it's gonna be really a shame because I know definitely by January we're gonna reach filler level, but whatever though. Regardless though, I'm still really enjoying the hell out of this anime adaptation, and because this is such a major game plan change of an event for the Fairy Tail franchise, this gets a very great, awesome sauce score of a 5 out of 5. How can you go wrong for a hype level like that? How? Anime viewers only must be shitting in their pants right now after just not only seeing ACNOLOGIA, doing some shit and just destroying almost half the fucking island, but then seeing IGNEEL come out of Natsu on some Naruto shit was just actually really impressive. So, oh man, I cannot wait until we get to that fight. I don't know if it's gonna be next week. It might be a little bit more time until we actually see that. But I think we're gonna have our little showdown with Natsu and Margear. So I'm really hyped about that. What do you guys think is gonna happen the next episode? If you guys haven't read the manga, but anyways, I'm pretty much done. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe as always. Again, episode ratings of 5 out of 5. Get hyped. We're finally at this moment. Manga viewers, get hyped too, because we all know what's coming up next after this, and it's just going to be freaking amazing. So I'm done. So this is the Ninja Reviewer, signing out. Peace, anime manga fans, keep supporting what you read and what you watch, and I will see you guys in the next episode review of episode 258. So